These niggas on broke, they need to invest. I got them wondering what I'ma do next. I'm a real deal, that's what I'm telling you. I spend hundreds of dollars on tennis shoes. Just keep cool, man, that's what I'm telling you. Rock with it on me and I play the rhythm. I got a gun and it's up in my pocket. You play, I'm a pilot because I don't feel you. I see them watching and I hear them hating, but they need to stop because I don't hear you. I be gone off and I'm a better man. I just started this shit, I'm a veteran. These niggas phone, these niggas be telling. Until he get hit, he need a reference. You better listen to shit that I tell you. Look how the diamonds, they hit out the back. I'm really ballin', I need me the medal. I got this shit out the mud, no shop. Get some money, man, that's what you better do. Man, these niggas ain't up on my level, though. And I had to go get it all on my own. But I promise this shit get better, though. I ain't fucking with none of them creepy hoes. If I hit her, I won't even sweat her, though. And you know that I keep it 100 with you. If it's a problem, you know you can let me know. I'm with that. Love it, you kick back, but you know I keep me a big strap. I was fucking around and I hit that, but I'm sorry you can't get your bitch back. I'm just thinking that shit on my mind. That nigga be lying, he need him a big cat. I'm the real deal, that's what I'm telling you. Keep it cool, this shit can get federal. Get some money, man, that's what you better do. Man, these niggas they not on my level though. Really coming from nothing, that's big flat. I ain't going for nothing, these big chat. These niggas on broke, they need to invest. I got them wondering what I'ma do next. She rolling Zaza, sipping Amigo. She my shot.
Welcome to the New Age. Welcome to the New Age. How you feeling today?
I feel pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. It is now 9:20. We had technical difficulties. That's why it is 9:20. But we here. Antonio, give us the rundown.
So good morning in the stock market for the pre-market. I'm going to start with everyone's favorite, AMC, up 1.13% this morning. GameStop up 0.58% this morning. Tesla up 0.53% this morning. You guys' favorite Palantir is up 0.53%.
Shout out to Kathy Woods.
And BlackBerry having a good morning as well, and that's up 0.93%.
Okay. What's funny, BlackBerry was one of the original meme stocks.
Right.
One of the original meme stocks. So, and they've really been stable ever since that run up that they had during the meme rally, meme stock rally, and really dropped off. But they kind of just been hovering around $9, $8, $10 maybe $7. So, what's your take on BlackBerry?
It's interesting because I hadn't heard much news on BlackBerry outside of last night. Reuters released a report talking about that U.S. agencies stated that their software could be flawed, meaning vulnerable to cyber attacks that would affect, cars as well as medical devices. So it's very interesting to me. BlackBerry was very popular. Most people look at, and myself included, looked at BlackBerry as a cell phone company or, dealing with data. So I didn't realize until last night that, that they had a broader segments of the market. Mm-hmm. So with, it's like we talk about this reoccurring theme of the cyber attacks. First it was, the gas and, then it transitioned over to the food and, a couple other industries. So now, we see it being talked about through BlackBerry. Again, it speaks to the antiquated infrastructure system that we currently under and the need/solution being the blockchain.
So how do you think the blockchain solves these hacks and crashes that have been happening across digital technology and physical infrastructure?
I think because the blockchain, the way it's set up, everything's connected and you're able to trace, where the issues are. Cybersecurity is big. That's one of the industries, our favorite, Palantir.
Right.
The demand, that's why we're so bullish on it, because Palantir is a solution make for things like this as well. We talked about yesterday how what they're doing, partnering with governments and agencies to from a preemptive standpoint, being able to predict incoming crisis.
So the blockchain, though, how does the blockchain take away or give institutions and enterprises more stability and security?
The technology.
From the hacks.
The technology.
So how does the technology
The technology being updated, like I said, it connects businesses globally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's data, tracked all throughout it.
Right.
Again, like I use Palantir as an example. I think it'll be critical along with many other, although Palantir is not a blockchain company, ushering in of the blockchain. They already established, they already have the software that's needed. But I think that some of the technologies complement each other in order to prevent as well as fix some of the cracks that we have in our current breaching or system being able to be breached through hackers.
Right. So,
I think it prevents that.
So just for the, people that may be interested in crypto or the stock market, or anybody interested or just starting out in investing, period.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's huge that and critical that we make that show the difference in crypto and blockchain.
Right, because they're two separate.
Right, crypto is built on blockchain, but a lot of people believe that blockchain is the 2.0 of the internet. So it can be looked at as the internet built on top of the internet, and all of the data that you're talking about in encryption checks one another. Whereas though the internet currently today will be maybe outdated 10, 5, 2 years from now. So I think it's critical that we know that difference.
Yeah, I'll do a more direct video explaining the difference of the blockchain versus crypto.
Mm-hmm.
The blockchain itself, just to give the viewers a skinny on it, the blockchain itself is like you said, the internet 2.0, or we can look at it as the fourth industrial revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the third industrial revolution would have been the internet, the introduction of the internet in the early 2000s, right? Late 1990s, early 2000s. And we called that was labeled as the Internet of Things, right? Where the fourth industrial revolution / blockchain will be noted as the Internet of Value, right? Where crypto comes into play is it moves everything of value, similar to how we, back in, early century, the barter system. And we still have it, we still have segments of the barter system, but because of the technology and the revolutions that has taken place, we just see it differently unfolding before our eyes.
Let me ask you this. Does the companies today, enterprises, institutions, have to evolve to the blockchain? Is it absolutely mandatory that if, let's say, someone's right now watching this is a new founder, do they have to be on the blockchain?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna say yes. Think of it this way. We had, at once upon a time, we had radio, only radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as things begin to evolve, technologies begin to evolve, the television was introduced, right?
Right.
Which began to take over the market share as it relates to people receiving information and content, right? We move forward years later, cable television. So that was basic television, right? Limited channels, limited content. But then cable television entered in, right? Which really made the television as well as radio kind of extinct, pretty much, or prehistoric.
Yeah.
We evolved now into a digital age, right? I look at companies like, to make it more simple, think of Blockbusters, with the tapes.
Yeah.
We could view movies and things on tapes, and then eventually they transitioned into DVDs. When Netflix entered in, and they entered in through first being able to provide DVDs, right? Then you could subscribe to them, or, in your subscription, they would send you out DVDs versus you having to go to the brick and mortar / Blockbusters to pick up your content, right? So that was a transition, right? And then ultimately it shifted into the digital world because Blockbuster didn't evolve and innovate. We no longer, Blockbuster no longer exists like the dinosaurs. Right. Amazon, when it first started, it was known as a bookstore, e-commerce bookstore, right? The evolution and vision that Jeff Bezos had, because of that, he's taken over the entire e-commerce space. Right now, you can get anything online, from not just clothing, not just music, but food.
Right.
Anything you need or that you can get purchased from a brick and mortar, you now can get delivered to you through e-commerce and Amazon.
Right.
So it's things like that I've referenced to support my argument that companies will have to shift to the blockchain if they want to remain.
So let me ask you this. How does a company like Amazon, a company like Netflix that is already dominating the current internet, how does that evolve to blockchain? What does that look like to you?
It connects to everything.
So explain that.
So really, you explained it earlier when you talked about how the tracking.
I'm saying specifically for Amazon and a Netflix.
But it's no difference. All right, so how you're saying with each other, right?
Right.
So it's a data log, right? Things will be able to move much faster and smoother through the blockchain, just to make it simple, right? So business to business transactions, right, will be able. I'm sorry.
So it's more so on the back end of things.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Right. So
on the front end, you still get your regular streaming service. You still get your regular e-commerce service.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we talk about, this is where crypto comes in, right? And the barter system, right?
Gotcha.
So that's when we talk about the back end. Any business that's done that, not that doesn't concern the consumer, so to speak, but it concerns the business owners and their bottom lines.
Got you. So you feel as though Amazon and let's say you're going to continue with Netflix, is the benefits of them going to blockchain is back in faster processing when it comes to money.
Right. Moving value. Right.
So as far as cryptocurrency, how does that affect Amazon or Netflix?
Again, I want to think of it as the barter system. So, in other words, let's say that Netflix needed something from an e-commerce standpoint. They'll be able to trade. They'll be able to do smart contracts, document versus getting a lawyer.
Right.
For them to do business together.
Right.
They can just implement these smart contracts and that technology and have everything signed, sealed, and delivered in a matter of seconds. Versus the lawyer, going over the paperwork and, the slowness of that process is now eradicated.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as since we're talking about the stock market evolving and
Right.
and where companies can evolve to, what do you feel is the industries that have to evolve and that would be the greatest investment for emerging industries to see profits as far as an investment?
That's a loaded question. So I heard, repeat it, so just so I'm clear as I'm giving you my answer.
In short, if you had to bet on or invest in the incoming industries, we can also talk about the industries that is dominating the market now.
Right.
But if you had to invest in the industries and how they evolve, what are your top picks?
Got you. So number one, I'm a fan, a huge fan / favorite of Palantir, right? Palantir just because of the...
So we're talking about the data industry.
Right.
Because we're talking about industry. So,
got it. And they had 3 different segments, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Which we'll do a direct video specifically later this week on Palantir. But the cybersecurity, that's huge.
Right.
Again, we talked about, these hacks and things taking place. Palantir solves that problem.
Right.
Preventative, we talk about Palantir partnering with U.S. agencies and governments, right, to forecast coming crisis, right? Palantir just bought, it was reported yesterday that Palantir just bought $51 million worth of gold, right? They invested $51 million into the gold sector. Kathy Woods last week invested 129 into Palantir. Yesterday, she invested another 11.9 million into Palantir.
Kathy Woods, my girl.
So companies like data / cyber and cybersecurity, AI, which is artificial intelligence, I see that as a huge marketplace and opportunity, especially as it relates to what's happening with technology and innovation in general. The only issue that I have with that is that I believe that as a consequence to this type of technology, it'll put a lot of people out of jobs. So that's the scary thing for me when I look at things like that. And it's fascinating.
And it's really already doing it.
It's already doing it.
So what he's talking about, when you see Amazon with the robots and them packaging orders or whatever.
And then Amazon even has little bots that will deliver packages direct. So what happens to the delivery driver at that point?
Right. And also they have autonomous cars.
Right.
Self-driving trucks. Self-driving trucks. Not cars, trucks.
So when drones come into play and all of that,
And just one more thing, when you go into a Walmart, when you go into a Target, when you go into a CVS and you see these stations where you can just check in and check out.
Where you don't need any human being involved in that interaction or transaction.
Right. That is where we're going to. And I'm glad so this is
go ahead.
So this is in the AI industry. It's a company, I don't think it's public yet. I'm not sure. You got more information on this. We don't have to do a deep dive, but it's a company out here that's doing robotic policing.
Yeah, I'm invested into it.
Yes, that may replace.
How this push for defund the police is taking place. So we will no longer eventually, it's.
Over time, you may see more robotic police. We'll just leave it as that.
Right.
We'll just leave
and security.
Right. Robotic police, robotic security. So
that's another sector.
Right. You had 2 more, right?
Yeah. The medical field, biotech. You're invested into a stock that deals with inflammation.
Right.
Where we know that's huge because athletes both during their career as well as at post-career, deal with a lot of inflammation.
Right.
You know, so solutions is being brought about through biotech, even in the diabetic space.
Right.
You know, devices that will read people's blood sugar, implemented, inserted into the skin, the flesh, that will be able to read people's blood sugar levels.
Right.
You know, cancer. It's so many things. Hip replacements, but that's a emerging sector as well. The medical has always been big. Gaming. We talked about prior to going live, the multiverse. What's happening with Roblox, and Roblox. This is not my world.
Roblox
And Facebook. You know, developing a multiverse.
Right.
You know, virtual reality. Go ahead.
And honestly, we was talking about, I'm glad you said a multiverse. Remember, I think it was last week when we was talking about
last week.
Disney versus Netflix.
Yeah.
And Netflix has a show where you interact with it. Which show is that where you interact with it? Is it Mine? What's that show that Black Mirrors has a show where you interact with it.
So,
and last week we talked about Netflix getting to gaming. So Netflix has the chance to do a crazy multiverse when it was Netflix and chill a year ago. It's gonna be Netflix and something else. You're literally gonna be in Netflix in 5, 10, 15 years from now.
So what's interesting about that is it's happening. This is the new world.
New age.
This is the new age, right?
Right.
Which is what we're very, very keen to, right? And we've decided to move ahead with the times, right?
Right.
So let me ask you this. What happens, because the debate is the evolving stock market. What happens to companies like Target? Because Target just got a report that, which is a brick and mortar company, right? They just released that they, exceeded their expectations on their earnings, right?
Right.
While e-commerce is slid quite a bit.
E-commerce, online buying.
Online buying has slid.
Right.
Where do you see companies and during that time? We're not just talking about like the targets, because we addressed gaming, the multiverse, different things like that. What happens to those companies, and what happens to investors that believe in those type of companies? Because when we think of, the world's wealthiest investors, like a Warren Buffett, who's solely, or it's perceived that he's, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, things like that.
Right.
What happens as the stock market evolves to those type of investors / those type of companies and opportunities that's from the past and that are still currently here today?
Yeah, great question. Before I answer that question, Antonio with a rundown.
Well, after market opens, everything is looking very, semi-healthy today.
Okay.
Semi.
I like healthy.
AMC up 50 cents at 37.66. Tesla up $8.91 at $674. We have GameStop down, that's 162.25. We have the S&P 500 not having a good morning, down 0.83, down 18%. The NASDAQ down 0.04%. And as we just mentioned, BlackBerry, that's still up 20 cents at $9.87 at the moment.
Thank you. So, to answer your question, I believe in a long term. Let me say this first. I believe Target and a lot of these traditional brick and mortar stores, I believe that they could be beating expectations because they really had none coming out of COVID.
That's a great point.
So as we go from, let's say, 2020, and we still getting COVID scares, don't get me wrong. But as we go from 2021 to 2022 to 2023, will it still revert back to those 2019, 2018 numbers that were declining? That's the big thing that a lot of people are missing.
Right. So, oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Secondly, long term, I'm betting on anything digitally.
Right. So
I think it beats out brick and mortar, and I think it beats it out easily. And I think what starts to happen, since they're beating them easily, I think the big companies, not talking about, some of the smaller e-commerce companies,
right,
but I'm talking about like big tech.
Right.
I think big tech starts to merge.
Right. That's where I was going to go at with it. I believe that.
Go ahead.
I believe that one of two things is going to happen. One, investors like Warren Buffett, because this is what most people don't understand. Warren Buffett owns a lot of the companies that he's invested in. He has he's a majority shareholder in a lot of the companies that he's invested into. So I relate Warren Buffett to the big tech companies and things that you talked about merging. I believe that they'll buy the smaller companies, and the ones that begins to die will be bought out.
Right.
Through companies like Amazon and things like that. We never envisioned Amazon being in the food industry. Right. What happened? They bought out Whole Foods. So it's not that people can't market. The evolution is now the market can be bought to you.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what I believe happens.
And that's where I was about to go.
I figured that. I just got a little excited. I'm sorry. That's good. I love your insight.
You took the ball from me. It's cool. No, but you hit it right on the nail. And I think what I was about to specifically say is I think the digital starts to merge with the physical.
So the opportunities should an investor, as far as looking at opportunities from a broad range in the marketplace, should an investor look more towards where we're going and bypass what's happening now, or should they invest in what's current and then wait until we get further mature in those different further maturity in those different spaces?
Let me ask you a question right back. What do you consider as current?
Like we just mentioned Target. We just mentioned, let's say the McDonald's, like the powers. I don't want to say the companies that have been around for a long, long time, and they've been at the top of the charts for a long time.
Yeah. So, I believe it. Once again, it depends on what your strategy is. I believe if you're betting on the evolving stock market, you bet long term, and you bet on the future emerging stocks, and also big tech. I believe big tech starts to devour a lot of things.
Right.
Here's the thing. Would you consider AMC as a
That's a good one.
Now play or a future play?
That's a good one. I think AMC is a noun play.
Right. I made most of my money from AMC. So my point is, it depends what your strategy is. You can make plays. You can make money with the today stocks. You can make money with the future stocks. Virgin Galactic, do you consider that a noun play? Virgin Galactic is a space company. We're going to dive into to space soon, right after this topic. Do you consider Virgin Galactic a noun play or a future play?
Me, I would invest in a Virgin Galactic now. You know me, I like to get.
But I'm saying,
for a future play.
Right, a future play. There's a lot of people that made a ton of money off of Virgin Galactic.
Right.
A ton of money, like recently.
Right.
So my point is, you can make money both ways. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself. You have to find out a strategy that works for you, and a strategy that sets you up to invest long term and to invest for the future.
To be around for the long haul.
Right.
Yeah.
To be around for the long haul.
Okay.
Yep. Antonio, can we get one more rundown?
Run down what's happening, if you can, in the crypto market, because it's taken a little slide over the last 2 days.
Right.
Bitcoin is just over 45,000. It's taking a little dip today. Ethereum just above 3,000, taking a dip today. XR, you guys' favorite XRP?
XRP, shout out XRP.
It's $1.10. I know you don't like to hear that.
I don't.
Hey, it's buying. I'm getting it at. I can get more at a discount.
Cardano, $1.99.
Okay, so Cardano's under $2 now.
Correct.
Okay.
And everyone's favorite crypto Dogecoin at 29 cents.
Okay, 29 cents. That's interesting. So again, since we're talking about, and we can go into crypto to end, but since we're talking
let's end with the space. That's I like that you brought up SpaceX because.
Well, Virgin Galactic.
Oh, Virgin Galactic, right? I'm sorry, because that's an industry as well that I didn't name when I was naming the evolutionary companies that'll be, have big opportunity in the future, the industries.
Yeah, so we'll end with this very interesting industry. So you got Blue Orbit, which is Amazon. You got SpaceX, which is Tesla. Mm-hmm. And then you have
Virgin
Galactic. You got other ones, but those are the three popular ones, let me say. Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic is the one that is actually public. So SpaceX hasn't IPO'd or anything yet. So Virgin Galactic, let me see where that's at. Space. And get y'all the ticker symbol. Space. SPCE is at 24.65. It's down 59 cents today.
And what is it down during the 52-week high? Because you mentioned how people made a.
Are you saying what is the 52-week high?
I'm sorry. What is the 52-week high? Because like you said, people made a lot of money on that play during its run-up.
Right. So I'm going to tell a story.
That's fine.
So I'm going to say the 52-week low is 14.27.
And it's up to 24 today?
Let me tell the story.
Sorry.
The 52-week low is at 14.27, right? I seen pretty much in early July, maybe late June. Mm-hmm. SPCE, Virgin Galactic, was at 16.50. And I asked them, I said, what you think about Virgin Galactic?
What was my response?
I don't even remember what your response was.
All right, so go ahead, continue.
So my point is,
I like Virgin Galactic, just so we're clear.
It piqued my interest.
Right.
But I don't think you had a conviction about it. You really didn't say much about it.
Right. Tell your story.
At that time.
Tell your story.
So it then proceeds a week later, 2 weeks later, to run to 62.80. That is the 52-week high. So it just had its
from $14 ran all the way up to $62.80.
Yes. Whew. Yes. And it just happened last month. Literally last month.
Almost $50 a share in profit.
I will always be beating myself up about Virgin Galactic. I will always be beating myself up. Y'all don't understand. That's a ton of lost money and a ton of lost opportunity.
Lost opportunity.
Right. So it's at 24.81 right now. What do you think about Virgin Galactic specifically, and what do you think about the space industry?
I love Virgin Galactic. The space industry is going to blow the tops off of people's heads. This is why. A lot of a lot of what's going to happen in the gaming space with the AR, VR is going to be done through the satellites. Mm-hmm. It's going to be able to be done through satellites, 5G, 6G, that type of technology. Yeah. But the satellites is the thing that is the technology that will allow it to thrive or allow it to be what it become, what it would it will become.
Right.
So the demand for it, we talked about it reaching $62 at its 52-week high.
Right.
The demand for it is going to be crazy when you look at industries like the gaming space, when you look at like autonomous cars, when it crosses over through so many different industries.
Right. And big data.
And big data,
right.
So space is going to be so crazy. I don't look at space as just flying to the moon or, landing here or landing there.
Right.
It's so much more to that industry and that technology that's being overlooked right now.
So Virgin Galactic is at
excuse me.
The 24.91. Do you have a underrated stock play for space? Like if I'm just a newbie trying to look for something, what would you get in if you was a newbie trying to look for something in the space play that maybe I can play long term?
You know what I would get in?
What?
Stock like GSAT.
I'm looking at GSAT right now.
That's crazy.
Great minds think alike.
Look, that is so crazy.
Great minds think
Tell me
alike.
why you're looking at GSAT.
GSAT is at $1.33. Again, GSAT deals with the satellites. GSAT, in my opinion, will be a $5, $10 play.
I see it going. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying over the next maybe 6 months to a year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, 6 months to a year. I'll even stretch it out to 2.
I'm in GSAT.
Yeah.
I got quite a bit of it.
Yeah, so the 52-week high of GSAT was 2.98. I definitely see it rising, but I think it takes some time, rise slowly. As the space industry keeps evolving and keeps growing and emerging, I think GSAT is an underrated play where you don't have to kill your wallet to get into, like maybe a Virgin Galactic will be,
right?
Or when SpaceX IPOs, or even if Blue Origin IPOs or stays under the Amazon umbrella. So that GSAT is what I'm interested in as well.
And that's the ticker symbol. When we say GSAT, that's not the name of the company. That's the ticket symbol that you can find. The name of the company is
Global Star Inc. Thank you.
Global
Star Inc. GSAT is GSAT. That's the ticker symbol. It is named Global Star Inc.
Right. That's all I got for the day.
Okay, let's get Antonio. You got another rundown for me, or okay? So we good. Welcome to the New Age. My name's Datwan. This is LJ. We out.